Hey there everyone, and welcome to another awesome video by yours truly. Now, usually you hear the term cheap in regards to a video game. It pretty much means that something in the game itself that's considered cheap, like certain moves in a fighting game or a play in Madden. But for the purposes of this video, we're all about money. Yes, these Xbox 360 games are all going to be extremely cheap to buy, and honestly, with physical media dying right now and the hobby of game collecting picking up in popularity, these games might not remain cheap for very long. I always say that right now is definitely the best time to start your Xbox 360 game collecting because the digital store is closing this year and prices will continue to rise. And let's just be honest, collecting video games is much better use of your time than eating 64 slices of American cheese, right?
64 slices of American cheese. 64? 63? 2?
Of course I'm right. So I wanted to do a video, put together some of the best games that you can pick up for a very cheap price. And what's interesting about this particular list of games is the most expensive one you're going to find on this list is in the $15 to $20 range. Most of these games, believe it or not, are under $10. Yes, you heard me right, under $10. So the games listed here are definitely really good games that I highly recommend, but games that are also going to not cost you a fortune, but they could potentially rise in the future. So why don't we go ahead and get started and have some fun. Now, first up is one of my all-time favorite games, and that is Fable II. Yes, this is an absolutely amazing game. It's one of the best RPGs of the Xbox 360 era, in my personal opinion, and you can pick this game up physically for about $6. So it's absolutely a game that everybody should have in their repertoire, in their game collection. Clearly, the game looks great. It's also backwards compatible on the Xbox Series X and looks amazing there. But for game collectors, for me, the idea that a game would incorporate a dog in such a way was truly something that I wasn't expecting and was just a fantastic bonus for this entire game. Now, this game back in the day won the G4 TV Game of the Year, and I can see why. Fable 2 is definitely the high point for the entire franchise, and I always recommend this series to people that are looking to possibly get an easier RPG to start with. This is one of them that has a lot of comic effect in it. It has a lot of humor, a lot of heart, but it's also just a lot of fun, and trust me when I say you will not regret playing Fable 2. It is honestly one of the best RPGs ever created, and I will die on that hill. So give it a try. Like I said, for $6, you can't really go wrong. You can't, and it's such a fun game. So give it a try, and let me know what you think. Next up is a game that you can pick up most of the time for about $8 physically, and it's usually free digitally. So if you're looking to play it digitally, you can always get that. But I always like to collect my game physically, and that's Crackdown, the original Crackdown on Xbox 360. Now, a lot of people remember this game because it came out at a time right before Halo 3 was coming out, and if you bought Crackdown, you got into the Halo 3 beta. Yeah, shrewd marketing, Microsoft, but it actually did work well because Crackdown sold incredibly well, and it was actually a fun game to play. Going around collecting orbs, having a cel-shaded sort of atmosphere. It's sort of an interesting take on the reverse GTA, in my opinion, where, you know, in GTA you play as the criminals, and this you're trying to clean up the criminal element, but it works out well, and thanks to the cel shading, this game really looks great even to this day, and it's fully backwards compatible on the Xbox Series X. Not all these games are, obviously, but it is nice to see when they are backwards compatible. And like I said, for $8, you can pick up this and Fable 2 for, you know, under $15. That's two great games. Absolutely recommended. Pick it up. Let me know what you guys think. Fantastic fun to be had here. Next up, one of my personal favorite RPGs, and that is Mass Effect. You can pick this game up for a measly $5 bill. That's right, you can pick this game up cheaper than you would a meal at McDonald's, and it doesn't leave a nasty aftertaste. Honestly, one of the best RPGs from 2007. It still holds up today. If you haven't played this game or this franchise, you might as well go ahead and do it. To be completely honest, I could easily put the first 3 Mass Effect games on this list, and you could get them all 3 for under $20. But the first one still really resonates with me a lot. 2007 was an unbelievable year for gaming. You had Halo 3, you had BioShock, you had Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, you had Mass Effect, you had Assassin's Creed. So many great games came out that year, and to me, Mass Effect is still one of the best story-based games. They really created a fantastic universe there with Captain Shepard being able to make all those choices and things like that. Yeah, it's not a perfect game going back and playing it today, but it's still one of the best games that I can remember on the Xbox 360 era, and to be quite frank about it, I don't think anybody will regret playing it. It's just honestly that good. So go ahead and give it a try. Let me know what you guys think, because I honestly think it's amazing. So and like I said, for the money, you can't beat it. Next up on this list is Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yes, you can pick this game up for $10 or less, and it's absolutely amazing. Yes, you might not even have known that this one was actually released on the Xbox 360. Funny, interesting story was it came out after the Xbox One had already released. The game was a launch exclusive on Xbox One, where it was going to be a year before it came out on PS4, but it also released on the Xbox 360 in 2014, and it is a fantastic game. I think it even far exceeds the first game in the reboot, and might be the high point in the entire reboot as well, playing as Lara Croft. And to me, it's the epitome of the better of the games in the entire series, because I wasn't such a huge fan of the original games. I mean, some of them are okay, but for me, this trilogy, they came from Crystal Dynamics, and of course the third one wasn't exactly made by Crystal Dynamics, but the first 2 in particular were absolutely phenomenal games, and they did such a great job with them. I think the voice acting, the action, the gameplay, everything is right where you want it, and for $10 or less, you can't really get a better game than this. It's not too long, it doesn't overstay its welcome. You can finish it probably in about 15 hours. Give it a go if you haven't already. Fantastic game, awesome stuff, and let me know what you think, as always. Quickly moving on, I wanted to do Halo Reach. Yes, that's right. We're covering Halo Reach, the same thing that the TV show is covering at this particular point. But I gotta say, Halo Reach was a heck of a end of a symphony for Bungie with the Halo series. It might be my favorite story-wise. I think they just did a really good job of kind of conveying some of the poignant, heartfelt moments of the story with Noble Team, and set up the original Halo trilogy extremely well, and it still plays well. Yes, you can't play the multiplayer, but for $6, which is what you can buy this physical game for, you can't really go wrong, because like I said, this is still such a fantastic game. There is also the local co-op if you're looking for that. It's really a great story, and it kind of tugs at the heartstrings as well. Bungie outdid themselves. There's a lot of fun to be had here. Like I said, this might be the best Halo story that they've ever put out. And even today, like when I was playing through this game to kind of capture footage, you just realize how much fun those original Halo games were. And this one might be one of the one that gets kind of left out a little bit, but still so much fun. Like I said, $6, can't go wrong. Halo Reach, give it a try. Moving on to Deadpool. Yes, Deadpool. Many people don't know about this game because it came out pretty much right as the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 were coming out. They did do some remasters on those platforms, but the interesting part is this game is the most expensive one on my list. You can usually buy it for about $15, $20. I have a feeling that this game is going to go up in price relatively soon, once all the digital stuff is done for good and, we kind of move on from that. But this is a hilarious game. Nolan North from Uncharted fame playing Deadpool. It's got a lot of comedy to it. It changes up the gameplay. Like one of the levels is sort of this old school looking beat 'em up level. It's got a lot of fun factor to it as well. There's a lot of variety to be had, and I think it's just one of those games that is a lot of fun to play if you're a Marvel fan. Like, we don't see games like this anymore. So seeing this game for $15, $20, that might seem like a little bit much, and it is the high point on my list, but it's definitely a game that I would highly recommend. I feel like it never got the shot that it deserved when it was originally out. So if you do see this out and about, by all means, pick it up. Now we're on to Mafia 2. Yes, that's right, Mafia 2, one of my favorite games. This game actually took me by surprise. I'll be honest, I hadn't really played the Mafia series prior, and Microsoft gave it away once as a Games with Gold deal. It was like a digital version of the game, and I was playing it, and it was blowing my mind how good this game was, right? Because sometimes you get caught up in that whole idea that every game that sort of looks like GTA is GTA. And I have to be real, I'm not the biggest GTA fan, but this game absolutely was worth every penny when you buy it physically, and you can get it physically right now for about $8. So that's what it about retails for. I have the physical copy now as well as the digital copy, but just playing as sort of a mafioso boss. And then I went back and played the remake of Mafia 1, and Mafia 3 is great as well, but Mafia 2 is the one for me that really stands out above the rest. It's got great music, it's got a great world, it's got great characters, it's got great gameplay, it's everything you could want it to be, and like I said, for $8, you really can't go wrong with this well of a Mafia story, and like I said, the voice acting is on point, everything is on point with this game. Give it a try, you won't regret it. Next, we have Fight Night Champions. Now, this is a game that runs about $15 for the physical version, but, you know, I had to throw it in because it's a game that I like to use and break out when I have some buds over or whatever. It's just one of those games that you can play with friends and, you know, you have a good time with it. And we really need a new Fight Night game, a new game that really kind of does what this game actually does. And, you know, again, playing as some of your favorite boxing people from over the years, I think is incredible. I think also being able to play a pretty good story is really underrated as well. So I always advise people, hey, play through the story, get the feel for it down, have some friends over, play this game with some friends, you know, break out the second controller, you'll have a laugh. This is what gaming is all about. It used to be so simple, you know, games like this, playing as Muhammad Ali, playing as Mike Tyson, playing as your favorites. This was a time when boxing was boxing and gaming was gaming, and it was so fun to mix the two. So yeah, it's a little bit on the expensive side, probably about $13 to $15, but well worth it in my opinion. Next is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and you can pick this game up for $6. That's right, $6 measly dollars. And yes, they did do some remasters of this game on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, but for me, I think it still looks and plays so amazing on the Xbox 360, and you can see that here, for me personally anyway. Like, this is where a lot of people got their introduction to the Assassin's Creed games. Now, I had already been playing them since they had come out, and I loved the Ezio trilogy, but playing as Edward Kenway and doing the pirate ships and stuff like that was so amazing. Think about it. This was the game that really kind of spawned how they decided to do the, you know, pirate game that they did now. For me anyway, this was just so much fun. There's so much to do, so much content. You can literally stay busy with it for, you know, hours and hours and hours, and there's always something kind of fun and new to do into the game. So it's an engaging world. It's a fun pirate fantasy that I think a lot of us have always wanted. So for $6, you might as well give it a try, and let me know what you think. And ending our list is The Witcher 2, which you can pick up for $10 to $12. I picked up a copy recently for about $10.50. I already had a copy, believe it or not, an original copy as well, but you can't help but pick up multiple copies of some of these games because you never know what could happen. But again, The Witcher 2 to me is so much more accessible than than part 3, and I just enjoyed it so much. The world is great. It's a little bit more linear, which I actually enjoy more as a gamer. I don't think everything has to be some super open world game. This is a backwards compatible game as well. If you have an Xbox Series X, it's going to look fantastic on it. It's going to play fantastic, and I think everybody should give it a try if you can pick it up. You know, all told, you know, spending $50 to get 10 games, I think is fantastic. And it really just goes to show that Xbox 360 is highly collectible right now, and there is no better time than to go out and pick up Xbox 360 games. But these games will rise in price very soon, so I always recommend people start their collections right now. You know, for a couple $100 you get a console and a bunch of games, and that's the best way to do it. So The Witcher 2, Absolutely fantastic game. Pick it up. Give it a try. And just like that, our list of cheap Xbox 360 games has come to an end. If you enjoy my content, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Recently, I passed 3,000 subscriber mark, and it absolutely blows me away. It is crazy to think that I started this channel with zero expectations, and now I have over 3,000 subscribers. So thank you. Also, I respond to all comments in the comment section. So I know a lot of people don't believe that, but I do. I will respond to everyone. So please leave any of your comments in the comment section and I will respond. If you have an idea for a video, maybe you want me to do cheap PS3 games, cheap PS2 games, cheap Xbox One games, cheap original Xbox games, whatever the case may be, please let me know. I try to be a game content creator of the people and for the people. So, thank you so much for watching my video. Have a fantastic day. Have a great time gaming, and we'll catch you next time.